Hello, GMAN Division 5B. It is I, your recap of Chuck Milk, again for Game Week 9, and I'm joined, of course, by Dr. Hep.
Hello.
Well, it's been a game week, let's just say that.
It had.
The High Elves, high flying once again. A lot of interesting things have happened, let's say that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the game week that's just been, Game Week 8.
Didn't we miss 2 games
We
in
did
week?
miss 2 games, so we have to go back to Game Week 7.
Yep.
Now you
Just
point
reminding
out.
you.
So. First game that we didn't manage to cover was the Bretonians versus the Skaven.
Yep.
As I've been predicting the Skaven to win pretty much every game week because of that movement.
Movement 10. Yeah.
Unfortunately, couldn't get it done, but a lot of that was because the gut runner went off the pitch. You now have a move busted natural one turn, not move busted, strength busted natural one turner. So that piece being a 1 strength piece will literally never get on the pitch apart from turns 8 and 16. So I guess
Exactly.
Congratulations, Falcon Merc, for you didn't ruin the piece because that piece is going to be kept until it dies essentially.
Oh yeah, very much.
Congratulations for essentially taking out a gut runner for pretty much most of the game. That's a pretty good one. 24 armor breaks is not unexpected, but 24 armor breaks out of 42 blocks is pretty insane. 6 KOs, 5 casualties.
Yep.
Zarat gave it as good as Zahu gave it as good as it got, so he got 4 KOs. But the injuries are the things that matter the most. Once the Skaven can't really use their bodies to maneuver around you and press you in because they have no on the pitch, then the Bretonians can do whatever they like. So congratulations, Falcon Merc. Falcon Merc's Bretonians once again doing pretty fantastic for a Bretonian team. And the next game we couldn't cover was Mego versus Benny Boo, which was an admin decision. So it was a 1-0 standing win. Nothing to say for there. Level ups were gotten, and Benny Boo told me in a PM actually, like, oh, by the way, catch these level ups that I got, because I know that you'll forget. I'm like, okay. when we cover his team, we'll cover all of those. So that was the game week 7. Game week 8, which is the game week that was. We start off with High Elves versus Skaven, and it's worth pointing out here, we spoke about this before we came on, and we said that this is the drawback of making predictions when a game hasn't been played. I was saying, well, with the natural one turner, maybe Zahu could pull out the bag, but obviously with the natural one turner being M&G essentially, he didn't have that, so it was down to only, I think, 3 gut runners, and the high-flying High Elf team managed to win.
We're in perfect condition, almost.
Pretty much.
So what we was basically saying, when because a match can change a piece that drastically, like taking out the movement 10 gutter runner, it's hard to predict sometimes.
Yeah.
So
which might be that next time we can't catch a game or refuse to
predict it,
or
take our predictions very loosely when you haven't played your game before. Basically.
Precisely. Yeah, definitely. So in this game, it seems like Elves and Skaven, being just 3 strength teams, could kind of block each other in a fairly equal amount. But the Mighty Blow here inflicted more KOs, I assume, for Zarat, but more injuries were felt on the poor Rat team. Sad, but at the end of the day, I guess the High Elves managed to do the agility play a little bit better, because they are all 4-edge rather than just have 3 4-edge pieces in the gut runners. Dablob, once again, however, proving that he is the real contender for playoffs. We'll talk about it when we look at the table, but it's looking very, very one-horse racy right now.
Yeah, it does.
But Mego was in action this week.
He was.
Hounds in the Gash, a nice undead / necromantic / just whatever off. Again, perfectly equal in these armor breaks.
But a big difference, a flesh golem.
Yeah, Flesh.
Did go bye-bye.
Once again, he's played the Flesh Golem attacks, and the block Flesh Golem that Mego got died. Mego's had a really tough season for his
his poor necromantic.
His poor pieces, they're all dying. So for this 1-1 draw, which was otherwise fairly equal,
Yeah.
Especially in KOs and injuries, 1-1, he paid a price for that 1-1.
He did. He paid the iron price, I would say.
He has gotten 2 level ups out of that, so hey, you know.
There you go.
We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yep.
Next game, Baltimore Gore Ravens versus Demon Llamas. Now, this was a sort of a game that we found hard to predict, I think, because
very much
humans are a bit better at bashing, so they have the guard here and there. They have the natural access to Mighty Blow, but the agility play is better from the Dark Elves. The Dark Elves and humans are very equal. They do the same sort of thing, but they have advantages in certain other aspects that the other one doesn't. So it's always going to be hard to predict, especially with sort of the same amount of movement. However, 2 expulsions there on the human side. Fouling must have really not worked there.
Yeah, fouling might not have worked at all, or hitting at all. It seems for any of the teams.
Because look, it's 1 KO each. No one was moving anything, and you might feel like, oh, that's pretty equal game. But I wouldn't say so. I think the humans, although they don't really have the capacity to remove things because of how much blodge there is on that team.
Yep.
Also, 21 dodges, 1 failure, 95% on the Baltimore Gore Ravens. Says something as well.
It does say something.
Then again, when Demon Llamas had to make a dodge, they never failed, but I assume that was mainly going to be the 4-edge dodging.
Most likely so, yeah.
Yeah, and Demon Llama's dice in terms of block was slightly worse because they were 16 both downs, 15 skulls to 12 pals.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But then again, Baltimore Ravens rolled 22 skulls, and apart from pushes, that was by far their biggest dice result. So it must have been a bit of a weird game, but the lack of KOs and the lack of any kind of for the humans really is worse for them than it is for the elves.
It seems like the elves have controlled the game pretty much.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Well done, Bulderplop.
Well done. Yeah. Aiming for that mid-tables position for glory.
Yeah.
Our next game.
Yep. You take it.
Okay.
Again.
The Nurgle, the Lizards. Draft deck has kind of fallen away from the pack in recent weeks. We use one of our tips to be top. It hasn't really gone there, unfortunately.
He have had a rough couple of games in the past. The past 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Or 4 weeks. He won 1 versus me there in between, but then he had a losing streak coming where he faced Falcon Merc. He faced me 1, then he lost versus the High Elves, and now lost versus Drew versus one of his nemesis, Invasion. Yeah. So I think it mind games can play on you like that.
I would say so. And also, Lizards are one of those teams that are really effective and efficient, and one of those best teams in the game. But then again, I do think they have a hard season 1 with no block, no tackle, and no, although he has 1 or 2 good sources, the skinks are quite bloaty and they're not that useful. There's no special standout star skink, so I kind of understand it. And also,
I understand this season. It's a good first season, though, I would say, for the Lizards.
Yeah, it's a decent first season, I would say. But in this game, it seems like he could be not really. He could be fairly matched with the strength and all that.
Yeah.
And also with that killer.
The one claw mighty blow pesticle making 1 cast.
that is always scary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a fairly equal result, but nothing more to say
No.
about that. Congratulations to Innovation for doing pretty decently, I would say.
Yeah,
with
and I
scoring
mean,
Nurgle.
Innovation even pulled off a touchdown on a Nurgle warrior. So
Which is exactly what you want.
yeah,
He got level up as well on the Nurgle warrior, so
yep, exactly.
really putting himself up to be a decent Season 2 Nurgle team.
Yeah, very much so.
Our next game is going to be Rich's T's Yumi's Electric Boogaloo versus Saucy Pigs, and it's classic human v orc matchup, which this time, predictably, in my opinion, swung to the orcs. Orcs always have the better time, even though Rich's T has some pretty good pieces. The thing that I think really helps the human team potentially swing this into either a draw or a victory, comfortably at least, would be a strength up on the blitzer or an edge up. Move up doesn't do the same sort of thing for me. Richard T, a great coach, but I guess what could be kind of the tale of tape here is 2 injuries inflicted for the humans, 3 injuries inflicted for the orcs, but 3 KOs inflicted for the humans. Let's see what that did, because if that kept them out, and it didn't, because they both 2 KOs came back. Yeah, that's
so I kind of watched in a quick bit in the beginning, and it seemed already at turn 5 that the humans were very the underdog in the KOs and such. So
yeah, I think Rich's T said something along the lines of this could have been either a human victory or it was kind of like a last minute thing. Which is unfortunate for Rich's T. A lot of times it can happen where the orcs can kind of just sneak out a win from a draw. It can happen. Yeah, but I wouldn't, even though I really highly rate Richard T. Benny Boo's been doing fantastic. He's a good team.
Oh, he has. His team has been, as we told in the beginning, the success rate of Benny Boo's team has been going on, and he has been like piling on those skills for every player he have really well.
Yeah, he had the SPP kind of explosion that I think we said he was going to get the SPP explosion go. It doesn't matter if your team isn't as good as Raz is right now. Your team will explode in SPP, and it has. But yeah, he received that. I kind of predicted it to happen a little bit more to Raz because he had those mighty blow pieces, or he had those just a more developed team. So I assumed he was going to go on that role a little bit more. But Benny Boo has also stepped up to the whole SPP explosion thing.
Yeah.
So congratulations there to Benny Boo. Now he is quite firmly in a challenger spot. Hats off to him. Our next game was a Dark Elf versus Bretonian game. Falcon Merc unfortunately took a loss this week.
Yeah, I believe it was because the elves did some pretty nasty injuries.
Yeah, the elves, 4 KOs, 33 injuries inflicted. Not 33, 3 injuries inflicted. 4 KOs, 3 injuries inflicted. I was looking at blocks, that's why I said that. For what this kind of screams to me is the elves managed to, with the Kaz dice and the KO dice, managed to push them slightly over the critical mass point in probably a few turns, and they managed to keep getting blocks in, blocks out, kept blocking, in addition to Frenzy kicking in, which is why the Platoons got kind of outbashed here very significantly by the Dark Elves.
And you got to remember as well, when you read these dice, that elves do much better being down the players than any other team. So even if you have a elf team that have 5 players down versus a full Bretonian team, but the Bretonian team has 3 players down, it's a really big noticeable difference in the Bretonian team.
Yeah.
While the elves can still do elf shit.
And it's also worth pointing out in this game, the Bretonians failed both of their KO rolls. I'm guessing in the second half, it might have been. To me, this screams the Bretonians managed to stop the Dark Elves from scoring. Then they got the ball. They had like barely any players. They suffered 2 more KOs. The ball got stolen off of them, and then turn 16 score. That's what it screams if the other 2 KOs weren't even rolled on. So
apparently a lot of passing as well for the Dark Elf team.
Absolutely. So this is very much the Bretonians were down to literally 4 players on the pitch. So horrible luck there for Falcomer, but congratulations to Harmel. Once again, putting in a solid performance for the mid-table.
Yep.
And finally, we come to your game.
I can take that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Raz, the devil, he beat the crap out of me until turn 13. I had 5 elves for like 10 turns.
Okay. Yeah,
and then I did a 3+2+ into a 1 dice pow. Picked up the damn ball on a 5+, and passed it across half the field into a NOS player, and successfully ran away.
Yeah.
1-1.
I mean, the 5+ is a bit, I suppose, fortunate in certain respects, but the 1 dice, going ball hawking for a 1 dice on the 3+2+ is definitely how it should be. Pro should be being played, especially when the numbers.
And then after that, he tried to 2-turn with a sideline cage where I basically just dodged in on a 4+, I believe, and got the ball to scatter out on the sideline. So I actually got a hold of the ball and successfully did a 2-turn back on him. So literally, the game were controlled by Raz the whole time, even though he made some critical mistakes that I then scored upon, apparently. But he controlled the game, and then I did some elf bullshit. That's the tell of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one thing to take away from the game for Raz is, if you're facing elves, especially if they have Leap or Frenzy, or you're facing stunty teams, don't sideline cage. There's nothing more fun than some guy like sideline caging, and then like my underworld is like, oh really? Okay, 2 uphill dice. I just need pushes, pals, or defender stumbles to push you out. And we're gonna have wrestle goblins as well. If you have an amazing wrestle goblin or wrestle stunty, then guess what? Turning over is actually improbable. It's 70% of a success chance of at least getting the ball down. So yeah, don't sideline cage. It's really bad practice unless you know you can't be hit.
And I mean, he really nice bloke, I must say. Really nice. We had it was fun playing just to play fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But none of us are in the playoff or the Challenger Cup spot, so we basically just played for SPP, which we gained a shit ton of, both the teams. And it was just fun having a chat and just like sit down and play Blood Bowl, you know, for fun.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I definitely get the impression that Raz is a lovely bloke, and it's been a hard season for him, but hopefully his next season will be much more fruitful and fun. And also he's doing well in his other leagues. So I know, for example, he plays in UK BBL. I've seen him around, so hopefully he has had a bit more success there. These seasons definitely happen from time to time.
And I mean, his Orc team is really good as well.
Yeah, the Orc team is getting there, and apart from like 1 or 2 stupid Black Orc deaths that he's had to face because of just dice. He's gotten level ups this week, I think, so he's back on there.
He did. It seems like I'm giving everybody good stat-ups. Because I keep telling people like, yeah, you're gonna get a stat up. No, I won't. Then they level and get a stat up.
Brilliant stuff. But that is the game week. That is the game week that has just been. So let us now cover firstly the table, and then we'll cover the what's the word? Prediction.
The piece.
Yeah. So as I kind of alluded to, Memento Athletics, the high off team, top. They are now literally 7 points away from third. We'll talk about what that means for the predictions or the table in a bit. Benny Boo is now second solidly. Again, 3 points ahead of Falconmerk. It is very possible that he'll fall down if he sheds any points. So he can't shed points over the coming 4 or 5 games, otherwise he will be done for. It's still fairly competitive between... I would say Falconmerk and Animal have a realistic chance of going second. Drastak and Zahu still can definitely get up there into second place, but it's now it's really the orders of magnitude of how unlikely it is will really drop off after about 4th place, and everyone else is sort of like fighting for glory at this point. Riches T and Bolterplop and the Harmall aren't out of the contention for challenger spot. But considering how unlikely it is, for example, for Falconmerk to go first, for them to go second is the same point gap. So
exactly, it's super unlikely. It can happen, but it's super unlikely.
Absolutely. And speaking of the predictions, let's look at the table now. Yeah. So we did the rough calculations. It's like 92.89% for the High Elves to either go to playoffs or challenger spot. It's now getting to the point where it's literally becoming impossible for them to finish below 4th.
It's dumb.
It's the High Elf team is, which in certain ways is great for Nabla because
Oh yeah, very much so.
But it's bad for the division because it's a little bit less competitive. At least we have a challenger spot to talk about. The challenger spot is still pretty firmly in the hands of Benny Boo. Benny Boo has about, let's do quick maths here, 56% roughly of going to either playoffs or challenger spot. And as you can see here, 20% for the Bretonians to go to either playoffs or challenger spot. Demon Llama is 11%, and then here comes the fall off where it's like it's a 6% and a 4% for Zara or just Rudy to go anywhere. So really there is a clear pack leaders, and then they have their dark horses, and then everything else kind of you guys are now playing for development essentially.
Exactly.
I say play for development, still win your games because REBBL does have some rule about remaining competitive and being competitive if you throw games.
It does.
Against the rules. But also, to develop, you want to win. So play to win.
Exactly.
Because there's no better way to develop your team than to win.
Then you can do like I did. Just win your games, roll a 3, re-roll it into a 1. It's great.
I mean, like, at the same time, you can end up losing games because you're like, okay, I can win this game and score another touchdown or something I don't want a touchdown on, or I can hand off and then you 1-9, and the next turn you 1-9, and it sucks. But you still play the win if you can.
You can. And for the people that are still facing the top 5 players, you're very much in the progress of kind of controlling of who you want to go there.
You can play Kingmaker.
Basically.
Obviously, some people really have a big problem with like, oh, well, I know I'm going to play the High Elf team. I'm going to just lose the game, but stomp on all their pieces to make it unviable for them to win future games. But I wouldn't do it. But if you want to do it, then also remember there is now a competition for turn 16 fouls, so you can win.
Exactly. And the bounty board is still up.
Exactly, the bounty board is still up.
I actually recently, this month, paid in $35 to REBBL as a donation because of the bounty board system.
Yeah, my bounty is unfortunately the bounty I put on someone is still going strong. He keeps getting level ups and MVPs, so he's now a proper killer Pestigore. I'm just sitting there fuming. But then again, £5 that I might never have to pay out, which is pretty nice.
I mean, I kind of marked the whole div, so
yeah, fair play. But definitely those 4 we sort of singled out: Mental Athletics, Saucy Pigs, Defensively Anagrams, and the Demon Llamas are all the ones who should be up there in contention by the end of the season. Things can change. We'll see what this table is like in even a game or two. But right now, personally, it's Memento and Saucy Pigs are definitely the ones who I would say have the best chance of going anywhere. And play to beat them, but at the same time, for definitely at least Nabla's team, you're looking at your playoff representative for the division. So beat him while you can, but by the end of the season, you'll probably be cheering him on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's look at the teams now. We have the time.
Okay. Yep.
Richard's T's team and Falcon Merc's team got nothing in terms of level up, so we won't be covering them.
Yep.
But we will be covering your team. You got 1 level up, I think,
on a lineman.
And he got
Agi up. Yay!
That's not bad. You get him dodge, and he's pretty fantastic. You can.
I posted on my team in the Discord. I got some ew and some I hate your team.
Yeah.
So I mean, it must be good.
It's quite a nice team because it gives away. Well, it has like 3 loners, but those 3 loners are the ones you just put on the line.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the guys that always get killed each game.
Definitely.
I think I haven't played a game in this season that I haven't had a play die.
But you're now getting to the position where you can either get the 4th catcher once Sparky Pluggo is leveled up.
Yeah.
Or start thinking about rebuilding a bench. It really is up to you. I do think that the Pro Elves kind of thrive with having a bench because their pieces are fairly cheap. They can have.
Oh yeah, very much so. It's much more fun playing with your own players rather than loners all the time, because loner dice aren't funny to reroll or like take into calculation. Like last game, I had to do some dodges with a loner guy, and it isn't never funny. It's never funny to do. But
even though a lot of it's just like 2+, if you have like, okay, I have to make this 2+ on a loner, and
exactly.
You have to make a 2+, 4+,
and you have to start it out because he's the guy that you're gonna mark with to get an assist or something dumb. Oh, I just hate it. It sucks.
Absolutely think about getting a bench maybe then. But, team's looking still solid.
Yep.
We're now looking at your opponent's team, Raz.
Yeah, he got some nice stuff as well from our game.
Okay, let's see what he got. You got guard on that Mighty Blow Blitzer Jack Sparrow, which we've been absolutely wanting for ages. We've been like, please, please, please.
Yep.
Guard, and now this team is looking very, very solid. What was the other thing that he rolled?
He rolled a lineman wrestle, so now he has a wrestle lineman as well.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I
mean, guard and some more stuff. So
I would have thought about getting Dirty Player though personally to help him with the fouling game. Your Orc's very cheap. You'll always be running essentially with like 12 players anyway, so having a fouling piece is pretty damn good, in my view. There's nothing really else. He needs something on Hector Barbosa really badly. That is necessary. His Blackhawks will level up in time. They're just MVPs away from getting their block. So this team looks very solid still.
It does.
It's definitely setting itself up to have a decent
next season. Yeah.
The only thing that's obviously a bit of disappointment is the 8 armor on that Strength 4 Blitzer, but that is still easily keepable. Most teams survive with 8 armor anyway.
Yeah, and I've told him to build a killer out of that.
I mean,
kills shit.
Well, the problem is that you don't want that ever to now get piling on. That's the issue. So
exactly.
He gets Tackle, he gets Juggernaut, and that's great, but he can't get piling on because otherwise it's just, 1, he gets stomped on, and 2, that is 4 strength on the floor that shouldn't be on the floor.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that develops. He could even, if he rolls another double, he could just go get dodge, and then he'll end up being guard, stand, firm piece in the near future. I wouldn't hate that either. So he has a lot of options.
Exactly. Very much opposed.
Harmore got nothing, so we won't be covering Harmore's team.
Nope.
Benny Boo did get stuff. So
yeah, he did.
Let me jump into my chat with Benny Boo. who was asking for some
Yeah,
help.
because that was the last week. Like that was he got the level ups from Mego's game
Yeah. He got 2
on
level ups. He got a block Black
Blitzer
Orc.
and a troll level up.
Yeah, he got a Black Orc level up.
Yes. I'm
A Troll
fast.
level up, and yeah, I think he got something else on the Blitzer. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this because I know what he got for the week that was against Mego, but I don't know what he got for this week. But what are your thoughts on the team thus far?
This week he didn't get anything.
Anything at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, this is
Not from REBBL.net.
Yeah, he got you that. He got nothing. So we were just talking about last week. He got a block Black Orc.
Yep.
He got guard on that troll, which is fantastic. Now when he gets
Oh yeah, very much so.
Great. This team is looking absolutely great. Even if Benny Boo doesn't end up making it to challenger spot, it is very likely he will if he does fall out. However, his second season should be storming. There is almost nothing else you could possibly want from this team apart from the extra guard on the Blitzer, the Black Orc getting large Black Orc getting block, and then maybe seeing something like insane, like a move up on the thrower. This team is really good.
Yeah, I would say it's scary good, and it fits to be in the Challenger Cup. I would say.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's absolutely a competitive team.
It's definitely one of those Orc teams that could go really far and well for that.
Because if he goes to Challenger Cup and he picks up just like an extra bit of guard here and there, maybe a tackle or a piling on, this team can very much compete against a lot of like the lower rung or the middle rung of Season 2 teams in the Challenger Cup. And definitely any other Season 1 team in the Challenger Cup. So
oh yeah, definitely.
Benny Boo's team's looking great.
Yep.
Jastak got level ups. He got a guard Croxagore.
Yeah.
And that's all.
And I mean, it's a Croxagore.
Yeah. There's nothing else you could want apart from stand firm or block, obviously.
Yeah.
He did get a level up on the skink that is dead, so it leveled up with the game that it died. So
yeah, it was a sidestep skink, but they are skinks. They are supposed to die, I guess.
Yeah,
more or less.
The team is looking very solid. Got his block everywhere. Apart from that one Saurus that still needs a little bit of a level up. Yeah,
but he will most likely get that very soon.
Yeah, a decent Lizardman team. It looks very appropriate for 1400, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not too much you'd want else on that. It's too bad he hasn't had a superstar skink, but skinks are sort of like replaceable anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty good.
Animal didn't get anything, so we won't cover Animal's team. Unless he got something last week. No, he didn't.
I don't think so.
No. Hounds and the Gash got something.
They did.
So Shrimp Up Mummy is the key thing.
Yeah.
He has a Shrimp Up Mummy.
Yep.
Ugh, that's awful. it's one of the things that really does make it a competitive team when the Mummy rolls either a block or a Strength Up.
Yeah.
My personal views on the Undead team have always been kind of negative because I've always like kind of treated them like a kind of a really dull team. But when you have the Mummies go insane with the stat ups, they can be really fun. There is one main point of criticism I would make though. He's got a Ghoul with tackle, just nothing but tackle, and that's the second level up. I don't like this King Can. I don't like this at all.
I like it.
I don't. I hate it. I understand where he's coming from. He's probably going to play dodge next week, and it's like I want tackle.
Yep.
The problem is that wrestle is better because wrestle still gets you the same amount of dice that succeed on an elf that has blodge, for example. It does take you down with it, but here's the thing: now that meat bicycle is a threat because he has tackle.
Yeah.
He has tackle. He's a threat. Because the dice that work against him are block and pals, because he has no protection in that sense, when he could just be something you have to fish for pals on. And if the other team has tackle, then, that's even worse. 3 dice that work against him.
Yeah. I know why he shows tackle.
Why?
Because he's facing me.
I get it. I do get it. I get why you would take tackle, but I don't think it's appropriate for a Ghoul because they are 7 armor.
It's gonna be fun to pile on pound on his goals then.
Yeah, that thing, because he has no regen as well, you need to protect your goals the most, and he doesn't have the protection because he took tackle rather than wrestle. So,
Yep.
not a fan of that. I understand it, but not a fan of that. He also has a move busted White from, I think, last week.
Yeah,
or
which
week,
I don't
actually.
mind.
It is this week. He move busted his own. His White got move busted.
Yeah,
Would you
I
keep
would
it?
say it's still. Yeah, I would keep it because he got Mighty Blow and Tackle, but it doesn't have Apple rights anymore, I believe.
Well, it's an undead team, so it doesn't have an Apple.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, my view on the whole thing is that you're kind of fresh. It's fresh and rookie enough that you could still probably replace it.
Yeah.
Personally, because this team does need to have its 6 and 7 movement pieces kind of.
It does. It does.
And that piece will be a little bit worse of a killer blitzer because you have to play essentially really tight and really close to get anything. Now it's 5 movement. And Whites with 3 edge are pretty easy to level. I would think about replacing it, but at the same time, it's not dead. It's just a little bit,
It's just a bit buckled up. But definitely keep it around until you decide to fire it or change it out.
Yeah, when you have the money, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Because he doesn't really have the money right now to replace it. So keep it around, play with it, but no regen rights.
No regen rights, yeah, definitely. If it's just a regen, you just fucking smack it around the head with a shovel until it goes back.
Exactly. Die, mofo. You stay dead, he goes up again.
You're not worth my team anymore. You're now broken.
Yeah.
But that is pretty decent.
Yeah,
team.
I would say.
Has almost everything that it could possibly want. All the ghouls now are there, and he has 2 pretty solid mummies. So yeah, very good team.
Very good team.
We can finally cover Nabla's team, because Nabla's been a team which hasn't been getting level ups at all.
But but they're very, very close.
This week he's got 3.
Yeah.
So one of the throws now has leader.
Yeah, so 4 reroll.
Alright, that's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. One of the catchers now has block.
Yeah,
now it's blodge. It's a blodge catcher now. The one that's been unleveled for ages, who have just been
dodge.
going level him up, please now level him up. Why is he not leveled? Has got dodge.
Yeah.
So this team has 2 men on the bench. It's insanely healthy. He hasn't got any perms. He's got nothing in terms of injuries. So yeah, this team is disgusting. A very good team, amazing team, but disgusting because it's an elf team that isn't maimed.
Yeah.
Which is it's a armor, but still.
This
team is so solid. The only drawback is obviously that with the bench, it does give away inducements quite a lot.
It does, but it does already do that. So
it does, but this could be the difference between like a wizard, which means nothing, and then picking up something like, say, Hubris or Princess Moranion or Mighty Zug for certain teams and that kind of thing, which I do think makes kind of a big difference, because then you have a piece which either has like Mighty Blow and just take up the pitch, or has a tool set to kind of deal with you. But you can't really, again, I won't say fire these pieces at all, because you will need them, especially for the playoffs. So, Nabla's team, solid.
Yeah, the only thing I don't agree with is the leader pickup.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either, because you do have 3 rerolls anyway. You're not going to be...
Yeah, and with all the dodges in the world that you have, you don't really gonna need it for a dodge. You're most likely gonna read it for a pass, so accurate over here would make more sense. I would actually love to see a sure hands almost, because sometimes you actually fail to pick up the ball, and it's nice to get a sure hands done.
Sure hands on that throw might be okay, but if he's just picking up disco ball definitely needs like block and dodge way more, and already throws amazingly far. So I could see Augusto getting something. Personally, as I mentioned, I wouldn't have taken Augusto at all. Anyway, because I don't think you need a second thrower. You already have one. But if you're gonna I'm gonna use the thrower disco ball for something else now entirely, I would probably say sure hands would be okay. Accurate probably better for me. But there's not too much criticism you can make of this team. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We now have Mego's team. So
poor old Mego.
Yeah, Mego is now he has to wait till next game to get a flesh golem.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken anything on the white. We'll talk about that in a bit, but he has got a block on the Mighty Blow Werewolf, which is very good. You love to see it.
Yeah.
It's now detected and also isn't going to 1-9 a lot.
It's a very good wolf now.
Yeah, and he hasn't taken something on the white, and we were discussing this before we got on the show, and we assume it's because of a stat up or a double. So let's talk about this stat up and double possibilities.
So stat up, if it is a strength, definitely take it. He wouldn't even consider it. If it is a movement up, which I believe it is, or an agi up, then it becomes a bit wimpy. You never take armor up. You take movement up, and you might take agi up. I'm looking from this from a Norse perspective, what I would have done with my killers if they rolled an agi up, and I would take the agi up because of the fact that it still is. It's easy to dodge out. It gets you a mobile killer. He with agi 4 on a agi 3 team, it becomes a huge difference.
So for me, for stat up, strength, yes, you wouldn't debate it. Move up, I think, isn't worthwhile first skill. I really don't think it is. You already have fast-moving pieces. The white won't be blitzing much anymore because the werewolf has blocked Mighty Blow already. You want that to be your blitzer anyway. Of course, you want the white to be useful for when you don't want friends to kick in. So you do need a killer white anyway. But I still think move up. I would rather get Mighty Blow or guard, and I think you need more guard at this point. I think you develop Sin. Actually, no. Now the white is like 11 points, so it's 5 points off thing. That gets Mighty Blow for me if it's normal. Rather than move up. And Edge up could be pretty good. I think I wouldn't. There's not a lot of teams that I would look at Edge up and say, oh, I don't want that. But at the same time, 6 movement for Edge is a little bit underwhelming, especially when his team needs the fundamentals way more right now. It can't really afford to have pieces.
It does, very much so.
If a double, I wouldn't even really take any of the doubles that you have on offer. Dodge is okay. But
I would take Dodge. Dodge is very solid according to me.
Yeah, you have a blodge piece, but
you can make him blodge stand firm.
You can give him blodge, guard and stand firm.
Yeah, exactly. Blodge, guard, stand firm. That's what I'm speaking of. And with regen.
But my view is that it's very likely he could still roll another double down the line. I'd rather have like Mighty Blow or guard, and then you can see
his team needs the Mighty Blow and guard and tackle, like the core things of the team. That it needs.
And because Mego isn't as active on the Discord as some of the other guys, we don't really know what he is going to level up here, what's level up, what's his dilemma. But if if you are out there listening at the funeral of your latest Flesh Golem, please let us know what you'd either had to like what was the decision you had to take, or what you're going to take, because we'd like to sort of get your view and opinion.
Your take on it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a pretty decent team.
It is.
Bolter Plop got nothing, I believe. Because I think both the Dark Elves and then the humans and Protonians got nothing from my.
Exactly. Yeah.
Innovation
did get something.
Yeah, he did. He got a dodge Nurgle Warrior, block dodge.
Wait, a dodge blodged Nurgle Warrior?
Yes, that is one of the best pieces you can possibly get, I think, in the game, where it's like blodge, guard, stand firm, Nurgle Warrior is annoying because already you could fail the foul appearance. So you have so many layers of defense to hit through. Brother Lustig will be insanely good. You have a real fun piece, and that piece is fun enough to, like, even if you're like, oh, I don't know about Nurgle, I would say if I had a Nurgle team that wasn't going so well in the first season, although you have to sort of stick out Nurgle anyway, kind of have to tough it out. Yeah. This piece is enough for me to go, oh, well, this is fun enough to... Because not only is it like the defensive option there it's really hard to hit him down. He's a 4 strength anyway and foul appearance. But even dodging, if you wanted to dodge and you like, I don't want to even spend a reroll on this, that's still a 75% chance of working. So,
exactly. And then on top of this, you can give him guard and then break tackle and just have a mobile guard that you can break tackle out anywhere because dodge and break tackle actually synergizes.
Yeah, precisely. So you have quite a lot of interesting decisions
Options.
and options. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to level
And
up.
I mean, a blodge break tackle guard warrior isn't that bad, but it takes time to level those up. So it would really, really, really suck if someone bolted it.
Definitely. I would really feel. I'd be surprised if anyone could manage to knock that on the ground and then
True.
foul it or kill it into a position where it's like non-regenning as well.
Yeah, I would be surprised if somebody could kill it.
Yeah, that thing will survive until it faces claw tackle.
Yep.
At some point in the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Yep.
But that's a great pickup.
It is.
Zarhu got one thing, I think.
Yeah. He got one thing.
Got tackle on the Mighty Blow Storm Vermin.
Yep, that's it.
Solid enough. Solid enough. You can take either piling on or tackle. I think tackle is probably better if you're not rolling claw. As its next skill because it means you have a lot more utility. Piling on is something that can be a little bit more win more. If you understand what I'm saying, like if you're the chance where you can pile on freely is when you're already like ahead, and you just want to make sure that no one can get even the sniffing of like their own 2-turner or 1-turner. So tackles can be a little bit more effective, I think. Otherwise, apart from the strength down guard runner who can never take the pitch, apart from turn 8 and 16, the only thing that I can really recommend for Zarhu to do is now buy a much deeper bench. You put 50 or 100k into getting another bench. That means that gut runner that has the 1 strength will never have to take the pitch apart from the 1-turners. Some people would think about maybe firing that gut runner. I think that gut runner should stay on your team until it dies. Because
I think so as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He should be getting like 3 or 6 SPP a game anyway from just those 2 turns. A lot of the time, even when things are going pretty badly for you. So this team looks solid though. It still needs some gut runner levels in other places. Like it needs a vanity polish from Quaytuk, the wrestle guy, so you can get strip ball or doubles. You could get 2 heads and that kind of thing. You need Thanad Veneno to get something because he's kind of a victim right now. Otherwise, solid team.
Yeah, solid team.
Not much I can say about that team, but that does now end the team recap.
It does. I believe it even ends the recap, doesn't it?
No, we have to do predictions.
Oh right, predictions.
Okay.
Damn it.
Yep.
We've gone overboard now. Over time.
We're 47 minutes, so wrap this up quickly.
Okay.
It's not that.
Okay, wrap this up quickly as we normally do.
All right, boom. Saucy Pigs versus Sarah. This is a hard one to say. At least he has the 1-turner back, but I do think that Benny Boo's team can really pile on the troubles for the Skaven with the 7 armor. I think Sarah, if Zarhu takes the 2 extra linesmen, as I've been saying, then he's in very good straits. If you look quickly at the team, Benny Boo's team, however, Benny Boo will almost certainly be giving away either way Wizards. So it's a hard game to really call, but I will say Orcs are solid enough just to keep doing damage and stop scoring.
I would say so as well. The Orcs will take this.
Yeah, Orcs will take this. It's either going to be 2-1 or it could be a 2-2. I'm going to say 2-2 for me. Would you like to take the 2-1?
2-1. 2-1.
Okay. Next game, Just a Rooney versus Horrimals, just 1 bite, so that is Dark Elves versus the Lizardmen. Personally, for me, I would think that Horrimals' team is so solid at this point that with the sort of the blodge that's coming up and all the skills and the edge ups, and this is the edge up. That is Horrimals' team has the edge up, right? No, it doesn't. He just has blodge. He does have a lot of blodge, and he has like mighty blow and all that. Yeah, and 1-2 instances of guard even. So for Horrimals' team, I would say this is probably a pretty good matchup for them. Just really isn't a bad team. It's getting all the development as it wants, but with only 11 men as well, Drastak's team can definitely take some casualties here and there, and the Elves are good enough to score whenever they want. For me, it would definitely be like a 2-1 victory for the Elves.
Yeah. 2-1 for the Elves, I believe. Yeah.
Next game, Demon Llamas Humans versus Raz's the Green Raiders Yorks.
Raz, pull a win.
Yeah, we're going to say we want Raz to win, although at the same time, we want Animal to win to keep the division competitive.
Exactly.
This is a horrible matchup still for the Demon Llamas because once again, as we know, it's
an Orc team.
It is an Orc team, but I will say one thing: the edge up thrower is out for the Orcs, so that means they have to carry on either a linesman or a blitzer, which is always a horrible situation for the Orcs. And with the edge up catcher piece for the humans, actually I'm going to be bold and say 2-1 for the Demon Llamas, realistically, but we're going to root for Raz to get his win.
Same here. I'm rooting for you, Raz. Come on, you can do it. I know it.
Definitely.
But I believe that the Demon Llamas can take this 2-1.
Yeah. Next game will be Hounds on the Gash, the Undead versus your Pro Elf team. This is a bit on a hard to call. Obviously, you can chew through your team and you can't chew through his. You do have your edge up, you do have your strength up, so you do have a way to clear passages to make those 2-3 turners quite easy.
Yep. I would say that my team can take this. Okay. I'm gonna root for myself now. I'm a strong believer. I've gotten a win on luck. I'm gonna believe Nuffle can pull this through. 3-1 to me.
Okay, that's a bold prediction. This is hard for me to predict. Because then again, he does have a tackle ghoul, and that's a very scary prospect. But I would say, let's look at the I'm going to look at the TV before I make this decision.
Yep, you do. You're fine doing that. Don't forget that I have 3 learners.
Yeah, I am that. Yep, so he will get at least a wizard. He'll be getting a wizard. Could get a bribe and something. In which case, I would say the potential for him to remove your pieces, and also the fact that he has pieces that can get your pieces down, the wrestle, the tackle, even though I say. So I would, and he can then foul those pieces systematically. So in my view, I'm going to say this could very much be like a 2-1 to the Hounds and the Gash.
Yep.
I was predicting you every other week, but one that's kind of like a bugbear where it's like I predict you and you lose, and 2, you've got your win, so you know I can just bet against you.
Yep, exactly.
And next game, Memento Athletics versus Defense of the Anagrams. I actually think this is a very scary game for the High Elves. The High Elves have to face a Mighty Blow piling on. The High Elves have to face a 5 edge piece that has 7 movement. They have to face a bunch of tackle,
Pom Mighty Blow tackle,
which is even better, and also wrestle. So the chances of getting down one of those elves is very, very good. I can't remember
if there is any team now that gonna take the High Elves, it's your team, Falcon Merc.
Absolutely, I definitely think this is a fantastic matchup.
I think this matchup couldn't been better for the Bretonians at the moment.
Literally. And also, I want to point out he has the potential to get 2 bribes, so he can, with that dirty player piece, just foul every single turn. We talked about how healthy that High Elf team is, and although it has 2 men on the bench, so like removals are less important-ish. If they're good removals, it'll be really stunning. And I think we've looked at how healthy that team was. This is now the game where it's like it can fall apart. He can get a bunch of injuries.
Yep.
So
we are rooting for you, Falcon Merc.
Yeah. Keep the div interesting, Valkymer, because you can go up there towards Benny Boo and also drag down Memento.
I would even go as far as saying if Falcon Merc actually win this game, the prediction table will be totally different.
I think it's marginally different. Unfortunately, Nabla's just so ahead, but definitely Benny Boo can really get up there. So I think probably going to be a high scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a 3-2, but I'm going to say it's a 3-2 to the Bretonians because of how bad they can smash that team in terms of injuries.
I believe on a 2-1, but yeah.
That's also like there's either going to be a high scoring game or a 2-1, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't stop the High Elves from scoring, but you can stop them scoring multiple times.
Next game then.
Mego versus Rich's T. That's going to be Necro versus Humans.
Yep.
Tough to call-ish. I would say that Rich's T probably has the better chance.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Unfortunately, Mego, your team is too undeveloped, while Rich's T team is really good.
The great thing about the Necromantic is they have 2 flesh golems to just like tie up pieces and frustrate you. You have 1 flesh golem, and that flesh golem can just be put solidly onto the ogre, and the ogre gets hit for 2 die every turn, and
Exactly.
try and reduce his armor down. So, and also Richard T is a fantastic coach who will know how to play against Necromantic, especially a golem down. I do believe there will be inducements, but the inducements are kind of minor. The inducements will be about a wizard, which isn't enough to really replace the gaping hole in that team, which is the lack of flesh golem.
Exactly.
So for me, humans make this 2-1.
Yeah, humans take this 2-1 or 2-0 even.
Yeah, definitely, potentially.
Potentially.
We've only the 2-8 movement that is a very slow Necromantic team.
Yeah.
And last game, Baltimore Ravens versus a Grim Tail. So that is now the Dark Elves versus the Nurgle.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the team that has the startups. The Baltimore Ravens do have the startups. Let's look at
Yep. I actually believe that the Dark Elf will take this.
Yeah, the Dark Elf team is really fast. The 5 edge gives them sort of like, even if they're in one zone of stink, doesn't matter. If they have to do pass off play. The only thing I will say is that 340 inducements means like a bribe. It can be a wizard. It can mean something else. It could be 2 bribes and a wizard. It could be a star player. I can't remember what star players the Nurgle get. I think they'll be I think they can get Borak. Maybe Borak with some scumming, which they have the money to do.
Very much indeed. So
I would love to remember what they get.
If you're giving me like 2 seconds, I can actually tell you.
Yeah.
On Fumble.
Yeah.
So totally Glockklinger, Max, Spleen, Ripper, Ludgrip, Witgasp, Billroot, Gruffle Pussmore, Bulla Shadon, Brickfarth, Grotty, Lord Borak, Grashnak, Morgantorg.
Okay, so of those lot, I would say Grashnak's fantastic. He's hard to use, but he's fantastic if you know how to use him. So in the hands of the experienced coach, he's great. Grotty and Brickfarth are solid because they're 2 for 1, and another 4 edge piece on the board. Plus Brickfarth can just tie up things, give you a real shrimp of lunch there. I wouldn't probably take Max. He can be pretty useful actually in this matchup as like a shepherding the ball carrier. So that assures you for at least a drive that you have that piece protecting the ball carrier. But at the same time, I would prefer to take
a bribe.
The bribe and keep the bribe for just fouling, personally.
Exactly.
He doesn't have a dirty player, so you never know.
You never know.
I definitely think that his best options are either you take the wizard and you take like the babes and those inducements, or you splurge the cash for a really, really good star player.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say most likely this game is still going to be like a 2-1 for the Dark Elves. I just can't see anything else because that team is a Nurgle team in its first season.
Yeah.
But a good enough inducement can swing things a little bit. You never know.
Very much so.
That is, however, the end of the game week's predictions.
Woo!
And therefore the end of the actual recap.
Okay.
Let's see what we clocked in at. Under an hour, barely.
Woohoo!
So we finished up quickly.
We're good.
Yeah,
just gonna plug this. Don't forget to bomb the board, Mark, and the t-shirt foul.
Yeah.
We don't want to get that t-shirt to waste.
Exactly. Turn 16 foul competition will be once again. The details of that will be in the actual YouTube recap link, division thing, whatever. Batting border will be there as well. But and if that's all we have to sort of mention, there's nothing pressing and new, I don't think.
Yeah.
instead, we can just say thank you for tuning in. I hope you all have a successful and fruitful game week ahead of you. Remember, you're all aiming to take out Benny Boo and Nabla's teams. Defense of the Anagrams and Animal. Human team can definitely get up there, I would say. So you two have to pull your fingers out, and you can really, really make this a great run. But until next time, it's me, Chuck Mammock, signing off.
And Dr. Hep.
Yep, so see you lot later, this time next week. Take care.
Bye.